Yeah, we're on.
Yeah, we're on.
This
Joe,
is all. Do you want me to do this or to that?
You're looking here.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm not very good at this.
It's your first time?
Yeah.
Camera virgin?
Yeah. No, not really. With you, I get nervous with new partners. It's always a little different.
Thank you, everybody, for coming to another Comics and Comics. For everybody that's come from out of town, thanks for making the trip up. For the regulars, a lot of new comics tonight, so there's beer, pizza, get it at your own peril. Joe Starr is going to be our host tonight. We love Joe. We filmed his album here. So let's give him a big round of applause. Joe Starr, everybody.
Thank you guys for coming out tonight. Thank you. Who's been here before? Who's been here? Oh, polite shows of hands. This is going to be a fun night. This is going to be great. Will's joke was very good. Next, please. And who's new? More polite jokes. Yeah. The quietest who's new I've ever heard in my life. Who's new? Yeah. I want you guys to know, 30 seconds in, I've already broken the microphone stand. Just by clutching it. I'm just going to do this until everyone stops noticing. Like the first time I ever had sex. It's going to be very similar to how that was. I don't know what to do now. Also very similar to the first time I had sex.
I'm Joe Starr. I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky. I've lived in LA and been doing stand-up for like 6 years. And I'm here at Comics and Comics at Hypno, which is my favorite thing to do.
I agree with him on the starting over dating thing. Like, I could never. I'm such a fucking weird, dumb person that, like, I'm amazed I'm married to begin with. Like, I can't imagine starting over. Like, okay, here's why I wouldn't be good at dating again. One time, guys, when I was 8, I became convinced, like, terrifyingly convinced that I forgot what my voice sounded like and that I was now doing the wrong voice. And my parents found me in the bathroom trying out different voices in the mirror. Like, panicked. Like, this might not be it. This might not be it. I don't know what I'm doing. And I know that that's the thing that I would tell a girl on a date if I thought it was going well. That would be your place or mine. One time I forgot who my voice sounds.
The crowd here is great. They really love geek comedy. They're always really supportive. George in there is extremely handsome, and he feeds us, which is really nice. Really, really nice of him. This is kind of our comedy home base. I filmed my album here, and my first comedy album, which is called Heroic Effort, which you can buy on iTunes or Bandcamp. And yeah, this has become a second home, a very out of the way second home, but it's a second home.
I finally did it! Finally did it! No, I didn't break it the first time. I just thought I did because I don't believe in myself. I did realize something. My wife really likes My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, and every now and then George has their stuff here, and so I always try to get her something from the show when I'm here, and I always, this is for my wife, and I know that George never believes me when I say that.
What's up, Ronnie?
Hey, boy. Star's great, but that's a lot of pinkie pie for one man. She is the best.
I was home for Christmas for 2 weeks, and if you timed every time that I spoke for 20 minutes. Today I talked for an hour and a half about The Hobbit. That's kind of me.
Let's see here. I went home to Nashville for Christmas. That was exciting. And that was the correct response. That was a good show. Yeah, that was the correct response. I always try to be I was with my in-laws for most of still the correct response. They love to hunt deer. So we have, and whether or not you like to hunt deer or not, what I'm saying is we have plenty in common to just shoot the shit about at all times. So I just try to chameleon. the entire time I'm there. The only thing I want my in-laws to know about me is that I'm very polite. I say hello, I have a decent handshake, I say please, and I say thank you, and then I go back home. That's all. I'm fine with that. I don't want to get tricked into an Obama conversation. When someone starts a sentence with, you know what those fags are up to now, I just go, it's fine. They were talking about, God, what were they talking about? Oh, they were talking about gun control, which I was doing my damnedest to just not be present in the room, even though I had to be present in the room. And I was wearing this shirt, actually. I was wearing my Captain America shirt. And one of my wife's uncles suggested that if superhero, he was like, they were really trying to bring me into the conversation. He was like, if superheroes were real, you know, this wouldn't even be a problem, right, Joe? And at the time I went, yes, please, and thank you. And then I firmly shook everyone's hand. But thinking about it, if superheroes were real and existed in the real world, that'd be great. Everything would be solved. This would be the worst thing that has, like, superheroes in the real world is the worst thing I can possibly think of for a variety of reasons. First of all, no more rap music. No, an entire genre of music would be wiped out in a day because they would all end the same way. Like, 3 in the clip and 1 in the hole. Nate Dogg is about to make some bodies turn cold. Now they're dropping and yelling, Batman punch me in the face. No more rap music.
I define geek comedy as comedians are always very intense about the things that they joke about anyway. So when applying it to the things that they also know more about than their own families and heritage, that's sort of where the connect comes in. So
that was a lousy definition, Joe. Let's try again.
Superman would be the worst. Because what is the story of Superman? Alien baby crashes in Kansas. He's found by the Kents, who are the paragon of what a good person should be. They raise him, they teach him morals, they teach him everybody is worthy of your respect and blah, blah, blah. And then he goes and he gets a job when he turns 18. He gets a job at the only news company that still has any integrity in the world that's like, we just want to get to the heart of the story, and he works for them. The chances of an alien baby crashing in Kansas and meeting the fucking Kents, completely impossible. The chances of an alien baby crash landing in Kansas and then being raised by the most homophobic, crazy, racist people in the world, incredibly possible! 104% possible. We're adding more to the realm of possibility because it is an alien baby. That's worth an additional 4% in the realm of math reality. I don't know. I just made that up. I'm going to major in that. Math reality.
What's the funniest thing about geeks?
About geeks? How intensely sad we are without realizing it. Man, I get more worked up about the Transformers than I do about war. Real wars, not a war that happened on Babylon 5 or the war that was the setup to Firefly, but like real ones. I get more, yeah, transforming robots are up here to me more than social issues.
The Captain America shirt came up into play again on the trip. It was a light packer, so I wore this shirt several times. Night before I flew home, we were having dinner. We were having bacon-wrapped venison steak, which was amazing. But we also had a bacon and or venison-related dish every meal for the 2 weeks that I was there. And at the end of the trip, there was an actual 9/11 taking place in my stomach. And what I mean by that is there was a lot of dust, confusion, controlled demolition, and a Mothman sighting. Right here. We were drinking, and my wife's stepfather who I can best describe as Matlock. We just have nothing in common, and nice enough gentleman. We just have nothing in common. He is the one in the family that is fine with the firm handshake, hello, and goodbye, and that's all. That's all. Haven't seen you in a year, Don. Very nice to see you. Bye, sir. We were drinking together, which was the weirdest drinking buddy I've ever had. And Joe, who is me and who is full of good ideas, was like, you know, I never have gone out shooting with any of you guys, have I? Thanks, drunk me. Thinking I'm in the safety of, like, flying out tomorrow, can't very well go, like, kill a buck. I gotta get to the airport. And Don says, well, what time are you flying out? And me, still drunk and chummy, was like, not till 6. And Don says, well, 15 minutes... Sorry, he starts his sentence with, well, hell. 15 minutes down the road, there's a clay pigeon shooting course. Let's go. And drunk Joe's like, let's go! I sobered up about a half hour later and was like, what have I done? I'm really good at clay pigeon shooting. You guys. Really good at shooting small little frisbee discs with a shotgun. Like, more than I am comfortable acknowledging. It was weird. There's something about when you uncock the thing and the shells auto-eject and there's smoke, and let's just kill things. Let's just kill things. Oh, so good. But we got to the skeet shooting place, and it's like this little clubhouse where there's just all of these old men just like sitting and just staring at places. There's a little old lady running the desk, and she's like, do you need to watch the video? And my wife's father-in-law was like, no, I've got him. And she gestured when she said, do you need to watch the video, which is the safety video. The safety video is just on a table, and there's 2 old men sitting on either side of it, and there's just a little old VCR TV combo, and that's where you watch the gun safety video. Sure. But then there was another guy about my age sitting in a corner eating a hot dog, and he had his Captain America shirt on and his deer fatigues. And we made eye contact for just a minute, and I was like, we're wearing the shirt for very different reasons.
Let's see here. Tonight we're talking about teen-centric geek stuff and how that's a trend right now and how that bothers me.
I realized we started watching Arrow, and it's pretty good. I feel like there's 2 writers on Arrow. Did you guys watch this? Are you guys you seen that? Okay. There's 2 writers on Arrow. One is a great writer, and the other one hates him. You wrote this great dialogue between Arrow and Dig, his buddy / sidekick / confidant. Oh, here comes a monologue about the importance of family. You're never going anywhere without me, Dave. There's too many. I feel like there's too much nerd-centric stuff now based around teenagers. Too much of it. I don't care about them. I don't care. You're an asshole. You're 16. You're an ass. You know who actually wrote a really good science fiction story and they did the teenage part right? The guys that wrote the Bible. Jesus is born, he's 33. What was he doing in between? Who gives a shit? If he was anything like me when I was like 18 years old, like, shut up, Jesus. Like, get off your cross, kid. Like, someday you're gonna be 45 with a mortgage and none of that shit's gonna matter.
I'm gonna read the first 2 pages of a novel I'm writing. So we'll see how that goes.
I started working on a novel. Okay, this is one of my little bucket list things, and I'm about 1,000 words in, and I want to share a little bit of it with you guys, if that's okay. Is that cool? Yeah. Is that cool? Okay. Maybe. Well, yeah, we shall see. Thank you for the opportunity, though, is what I'm saying. Okay, so this is from my novel, which is called Guard the Body, the Jackson Daniel Scott Bodyguard Trilogy. The Palace Auditorium was packed to the rafters with rock and roll, a sea of fans shouting the lyrics of Cantana, the Japanese electric folk rock trio. You could feel it in the air, and you could hear it in the air, too. You couldn't have produced a bigger Asian crossover sensation in the United States if Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift had been about Pokemon and starred Jackie Chan and Psy. This was big. Big enough that the biggest record label in the world, Kingston Records, had hired the biggest personal security company in the world, Archangel Protection, to protect the biggest Japanese electric rock folk trio of all time. In turn, Archangel Protection had sent their best. Jackson King Titus Daniel Scott, former Army Ranger, former SWAT, former West Coast MMA champion, and famed student of the Lacey Family Dojo. Currently a bodyguard. Jackson stood in the wings watching Quintana shriek their way through their encore, drum and bass pulsing under banjo solo after extended banjo solo. Still as a statue, he saw everything at once. Fans trying desperately to get on stage, women throwing bras, waving their tits in the wind in hopes of a backstage rendezvous. He saw the roadies scrambling to make sure lead vocalist Jay Kobashi's jug was tuned and ready to go for the final jug band verse of their hit single Super Cat Punch, parentheses, My Heart All in Pieces. He saw it all, because that was his job. Well, it was only part of his job. The other part of his job was protecting his clients from everything he saw, which was all of it. Those were the two parts of the whole job. But it was more than a job. It was a calling. And that's where I am. Here you go. No shopping.
Here's these guys.
Yeah. What's the funniest thing about him?
About this guy?
Yeah, Mr. Powers. What's his funniest?
My favorite thing about Tim is he has a very sort of like classy old school comic delivery, but he paces across the stage like Chris Rock. So he has this really like angry black comic delivery.
That's me, angry black comic.
But about like Silver Age Superman comics, and I love him. I love him for that.
What about Sax back there? Has he ever said anything funny to you?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. There's been a few.
I just can't seem to do it on stage. God damn it.
Guys, that's our show. Tom's selling shirts out there. I'm also selling my album I recorded here. It's called Heroic Effort. I'm selling copies of that and a sticker for $5 out there. If you want to grab one, it'd be great.
This album is really funny. Yes.
Tim says it's really funny. And I hope it is. Someday I'm going to believe in myself. You guys, thanks for coming. Did you guys have a good time? Woo! Awesome. Hopefully we see you guys next month. Have a good night.